Hello and welcome to some of my friends read comics. We got Van.
I'm not a mutant anymore, Kia. I can deal with anything except
Oh
that.
wow. Oh, except being introduced. My goodness. We got Chris.
My code name is Can Crush You with a Glance, man.
And I'm Kia. Welcome to the show. We are doing some X Factor today. Don't touch that dial though. I know we did X Factor last time. This is different. X Factor.
It's by X Factor by Peter David.
Well, hold on. That's the same as last time. It's X Factor. So last time we did Peter David's original run on X Factor, which was from the 90s. Now we are doing his rebooted X Factor from 2005, which was hot off the heels of House of M, everyone's favorite X-Men event, where a bunch of random mutants got depowered. And they're restarting X Factor here.
That was a very dumb ending because I think they wanted to depower all the mutants, and I don't know why, just because. But she said no.
Yeah, there's too many mutants. The Marvel Universe is supposed to be like the real world, and now we have like Mutantburg.
That's right. And so they said no more mutants, and so Scarlet Witch said no more mutants, and she depowered pretty much every X-Man you don't care about, but the X-Men you do care about still kept their powers, which, so like Wolverine still had powers. I think Iceman may have been like the only like X-Man of note that didn't keep his powers, but otherwise everybody
you got him back later.
You could headcanon it that it's just like, well, the X-Men like have gone through enough magical crap.
Yeah.
That like they don't show up on regular scans anymore.
They were right in front of her.
Yeah.
It was like when Thanos snapped everybody and then conveniently didn't snap any of the original Avengers, but snapped everybody else.
So I vaguely remember from House of M that like some psychic, maybe Jean Grey or something, was like, or maybe it was Emma Frost, I don't know, like psychically just thought of every mutant she could to protect them. So that's why it's all the ones you know versus the ones you don't care about. And also Iceman, I think I remember Iceman got depowered, but then it was like, dude, it's all in your head. You still have powers. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm fine. Something like that.
I feel like there was like a protective bubble or something. You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, a whole bunch of mutants got depowered. I think like 90% of the mutants in the world, something like that. Peter David, none of that really matters all that much. Although, some of it does come into play in terms of like everyone's back in the real world and trying to figure out what happened. Oh no. But really, we're just getting X Factor investigations started back up. We got Ryan Sook on art for most of this time.
Well, not really.
The first 2-3 issues.
Okay, yeah.
He makes a full first issue. I meant to look up like what is he from, because his art is really good. But I'm like, where did he come from?
Mm-hmm. Good question. I have no idea.
I don't know, but like his work is really good, and then like he just couldn't, for whatever reason, the schedule just couldn't handle a monthly comic book. Yeah, he made it. He partially contributed to 4 issues of this book, and the first issue is really good.
Anything else we need to know? If you were listening to our last episode, our returning characters are Jamie Madrox, Multiple Man. He's still the main character. We got Wolfsbane, Rain, who does not seem to have a crush on him anymore.
She had a crush on Alex.
Oh, that's right.
You're
right.
Not here.
Sorry. Yeah. We had Guido, Strong Guy. He's still there. And we have... Is that our only returning characters? We have a few new characters we'll get to here.
Well, yeah, because it comes from Madrox, because, like, Kia, I don't know if you put me onto it or if I was just buying, like, single issues at the time, or anything that had, like, a #1 at the time, but I definitely bought the Madrox miniseries that was, like, a stealth pilot for this book. And I
definitely read that and loved it, so I might have told you about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely read that. I feel like the first few issues of that were really good, and it kind of like didn't integrate. But it was like, but I think it slowly introduced back like Guido and all the other characters into it. So by then they were ready to do an X Factor book by the end of that miniseries.
Right. Okay. We should mention the new characters because there are a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So, because we have a handful, we have basically half of the old team from the 90s X Factor. But then the other half, plus even more, is so you have Siren, who is on X-Force. She's Banshee's daughter.
Yeah, she's got screaming powers, and she's Irish.
Yep, she can fly. She has a new power. I think this book is the first time, maybe it was introduced by Grant Morrison's X-Men, I don't remember, that she has a secondary mutation that she can like mind control. Well, not mind control, but I guess
Like
hypnotize
influence people with her voice, and like maybe something pheromone based. I don't know, like just kind of convince people to do what she wants.
Yes.
Sort of stuff.
So she has that power that's new. Then there's M, which is Monet. She was a member of Generation X. The letters page, I don't know if y'all read the letters pages, but it's full of people being like, we hate Monet. Why is she in this book?
Yeah, Monet St. Croix. She's very posh. And she hates being
posh spice.
Yeah.
Every letter in that thing is like people saying we hate this book, and then Peter David telling them why they're wrong. It's a very odd choice.
It's very funny. I do like the people that predict like where the story's going, because they're like, is Quicksilver going to be in this book? And they're like, yes, Quicksilver is going to be in this book. We didn't start an X Factor book with Peter David, and they're like, we're not going to put one of the funniest characters in it.
Is there like a rule they have to include every letter they get, even the negative ones? And it's like that's all the letters they've gotten.
It's definitely not a rule.
It seems like a choice. Or part of me was like, are these fake so then Peter David can look smart? Like I couldn't tell sometimes. It's like so and so from the internet, and I'm like, Peter David's like, here's why you're wrong, and here's why you're stupid. It definitely felt like some Star Wars fans like, this isn't my X Factor, and it's like, blah, 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 and you just would tell them why they're stupid. Which is very internet of the mid 2000s.
Yeah, I do like the people that think they're smarter than the book, because they're like, wait, didn't Madrox and Siren used to date? And they're like, yes, they did. Very good.
I think that's when he said, like, I'm not gonna bog down 3 pages talking about their relationship. Like that's for cleanliness of story. Yes, they did. And if you look at it, maybe they give each other a look. But come on, shut up.
Yes, and spoiler alert for the future of X Factor: they get back together.
Yeah.
But yes, so then there's also Layla Miller from House of M. And I think, is that everybody? Oh, there's also Richter from X-Force. He doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah, Richter has been depowered. He had, richting powers.
He had earthquake powers, yeah. Richter scale.
The Richter
power
scale,
to Richt.
I just got that. That's so dumb.
It's very dumb. He was on the New Mutants with Rain, and then he was on X-Force with Siren. She was not in the New Mutants, but then she joined Cable's X-Force. There's like a very complicated, graph or chart you could make.
It's the X-Men,
mutants know each other.
Yeah. But I think we're ready to jump into it. No, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No sign of Richter's BFF Shatterstar, which, as we find out later, they're more than BFFs.
Shatterstar? Which one was Shatterstar?
Shatterstar had an M on their face, right? The M tattoo on their face?
No, he had like a similar, he had a gold eye, like Cable, but he wore like a weird helmet, and he had like a double sword.
A double sword.
I feel like he was definitely in Age of Apocalypse.
I don't think he was in Gambit's team, but I don't think he was a major character.
Oh, this guy, he's got a... What is the live action pictures of him in here?
I'm looking at his wiki. In 2013, he was the number 29 on the list of 50 sexiest male characters.
Oh, he's in
comics.
Deadpool. Okay.
Yeah, he's in Deadpool 2 when they are recruiting X-Force.
Oh, great.
Makes sense. I mean, Domino's a major character in that movie.
Yeah.
Man, that movie I completely forgot everything about. Okay.
Well, we could talk about X-Men side characters for days here, but
that's why we got to get rid of these X-Men and then put them in a book together where they're all sad.
All right, so jumping into it here, first issue, we start with Richter on the roof of a building, about to kill himself because he's been depowered and he's sad. And Madrox, Multiple Man, is looking at him from like higher up on a building or different building. He's like, we gotta stop this guy. He sends one of his dupes down there to take care of it and start to talk him off the ledge here. He's also talking about how his dupes have different sort of personalities and like they're like aspects of himself. So like one dupe might be like the lazy version of him, and one might be the more cheerful version. So he tries to send the cheerful version down for him. Siren
I liked that bit. I
is
thought that was really clever.
yeah. Siren has been working with some contact about getting information about singularity investigations. That's like their main antagonist for this whole arc and presumably the whole book. I don't remember hearing about singularity before this really, but I don't know. Were they around before this? Do y'all know?
I don't know.
No, I think they were created for this
Okay, yeah.
storyline. Like they might have been in Madrix, but.
Mm-hmm. And so some lady who works for Singularity has like stolen some info and is here to give it to Siren. And she's like, Siren, I'm in love with you. And Siren's like, oh, I may have gone too far with my powers here. But an assassin from Singularity comes in and kills her. And Siren's pissed because the backup was Strong Guy and he's a little bit late. Actually, he wasn't late. They were early.
So, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I know it's like 2004, but it's like you should text him and be like, hey, we're here early.
Yeah, you got to let him know. Madrix is then on the roof talking to Richter about everything, filling him in on all the people in X Factor, saying like, yeah, Siren's in, M has joined. We're meeting all the members of the team. Rain is down there on the ground. Because the cops have kind of showed up. He's on the news because he's about to jump. And Rain is down there just saying, hey, don't do that. It's terrible. You'll go to hell. Then a little girl named Layla Miller walks into X Factor, into their investigations office. She's talking to Siren and Strong Guy in there, and she wants to join X Factor. All she keeps saying is she knows stuff. Yeah. She knows things. Then back on the roof here, the Madrix clone that's talking to Richter is not an optimistic one. He lied because he's the chaotic one, the unexpected one. And he's like, I just fucking do what I want. And he pushes Richter off the building. Cool. Great. Nice first issue. I feel like I skipped past a lot of the tone of the things, but it's got that classic Peter David, just kind of fun. Everything flows pretty well. Reintroduces you to a lot of these characters, sets things up pretty well, I think. Anything else?
I like throughout the first issue, they do a lot of like cross cutting where like someone's in the middle of a conversation and they cut directly to someone saying something similar.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny little bit. Like it does a good job of being funny and being like, this is a detective story, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a little darker. You're going to have people getting shot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, and it's like physically dark also. Like none of this takes place in the daytime. Sook's art is really clean and clear. I like kind of his weird outlines around the art. I like that. Or his inking is really thick for this book. But it's like the X Factor of the 90s first issue we just read, that he's setting up like multiple plot lines. Like we're dealing with the Singularity investigation, and we're also dealing with the fact that like there's an evil Madrix, and then we're dealing with the X-Men decimation of their powers. Like we're dealing with like a lot of different things all at once, and it's pretty elegantly told. And we're establishing all the characters pretty well. And Layla Miller, who I guess was also in House of M, she was the one who like saw through the fact that it was like a fake world, and then recruited everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this book basically completely retcons whatever like Doctor Strange is like, oh, she's like an anchor dimensional thing that Wanda put in place, blah, blah, blah. That, she's just a plot point that didn't exist before House of M happened. And then they're like, no, none of that's true. She was real.
Yep. I guess Scarlet Witch just plucked a random real person out of the world and said, "You're going to be my my stable point." I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about House of M. It's confusing.
It is, and bad. Good art though.
Yeah. So on to X Factor number 2. Layla Miller is hard at work at X Factor investigations, organizing all the files, and Strong Guy and Siren are still confused about who she even is and why she's there. But she does seem to have some sort of precognitive ability because she knows who the next client walking in is. It's Gloria Santiago. She's looking for her sister. Meanwhile, Richter is falling off the roof. Rain is kind of like, let me get in there and grab him, but Monet flies in and grabs him, and also makes a jab at Rain about new flea treatment. I feel like there's always some like quote unquote hotter mutant who's making fun of Wolfsbane in Peter David's books, because I think that happened in the last X Factor. Madrix confronts his twin in an alley and reabsorbs him, and is like kind of talking to him, and he's just like, I don't know, that having a little bit of that crisis of conscience kind of thing of just like, what the hell's going on with these guys?
I like this one. I think this is really an interesting development, and actually like stuck in my head as like a real danger to making a multiple man, because he says that I am the part of yourself that can't be trusted, which is like the self-sabotaging part of yourself, and I will lie to you. And so you don't know when you create a duplicate if you're going to get me or one that's lying to you, if I'm just going to lie and pretend to not be me, or you're going to get one that's legitimately like enthusiastic. You'll never know. So it like adds this like element of danger that like every time that he makes a dupe for the rest of this book, I'm like, oh, is this, and there's a tinge of me like, this could be bad. This could be bad if you use your powers, buddy. And I think that adds a really interesting tension. I don't think it does much with it through the rest of this arc, but I like that it's in the back of your head.
Yeah, I do. There's a scene later, which I'll just mention now, where he like kind of creates an army of himself, and he's like, we're all on the same page. But there's one who's like asleep on the ground. It's like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I do like the other scene where it's like the angry version of him. That's just like, why are you like self-doubting and being a loser all the time? You are so much stronger than everyone else. And it's just like, I guess if you think about it, he kind of is.
Now I'm wondering, when he makes that clone and it is that part of him, does that mean that part of him is gone and that part of him is like outside?
Oh, does
you know
he,
what
like,
I mean?
does,
I don't know.
Does it duplicate or does it subtract from him?
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a question. Yeah, like
that's a question.
Like the brainy part, does he become stupider if there's like a nerdy like physicist multiple man?
Oh,
Dr. Multiple Man.
Dr. Multiple Man.
We find out there's a lawyer multiple man.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so
I do like that thing that he can just multiplicity himself and just like learn trivia so that he can win Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, go to law school.
That was their seed money, right?
Over
for
that,
the X
but
Factor.
that's how he got the $1 million to start X Factor investigations. He went on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and his phone a friend was one of his duplicates, which is technically not really cheating.
But
was it all of his duplicates?
I think there were like 7 of them in the room or something, right?
Oh, I said okay.
Like all researching at the same time.
I mean, realistically, though, any phone a friend could be in a room with 7 other people all researching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how they vetted that back in the day, 1999 or whatever.
I definitely heard people typing sometimes.
Did they actually phone them, or because I know they had to have them like preset, like because you couldn't just like call them and be like, oh, they didn't pick up, let's go call somebody else.
No,
like,
he's in the shower. Sorry.
Like you had to be like during the course of this taping, in case I get picked, my 5 phone a friends need to be available. But I don't know if they were like, did they call them at home or did they just bring them in the studio and let them sit like in a room and wait? Because that seems like way more logistically easy. Yeah.
Did you get one phone a friend, or did you have multiple phone a friends that you could choose and be like, I'm going to call this one?
You had 3 lifelines, so one of them was like split. You asked the audience.
No, hold on. I know about the 3 lifelines.
Okay.
I'm saying when you use your one lifeline, when you're using one lifeline to phone your friend, do you have multiple friends waiting that you can choose from?
Yes, because he said, I'm going to call my friend Jerry because he knows about blah, blah, blah. I would call Chris because he knows about superheroes. Kia, I would call you because you know more about... Well, Chris knows more about superheroes too.
Yeah, Chris knows more about most things, I think. What would you... I don't know what you would call me about. Just don't call me. It's okay.
Yeah. So Chris would be my friend for basketball and comic books. He's a twofer. He's a double threat.
I mean, that's why I'm so valuable at trivia nights. Especially, I go to trivia night and they're like, "What are you really good at?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm good at general knowledge, but I'm probably going to cover the sports for y'all because y'all are a bunch of nerds."
Anyways, we're getting to the bottom of the phone a friend thing. Very timely. Okay, so where else are we? This new client at X Factor. Gloria, she's telling Siren and Strong Guy about how her sister's been acting weird, very distant and not usually like that, and she thinks an evil mutant is behind it. And sister's a cleaning lady, and Siren's like, look, I don't really know if this is worth our time. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing an evil mutant is behind. But Layla Miller is like, hey, you should take the job because it'll lead to you finding the singularity. And Siren kind of begrudgingly accepts. We get our first look at singularity investigations, where the leader of this thing, Mr. Tripp, he's some guy in a suit, is talking to a time wizard.
Yeah.
An old man, yes.
An old man in very wizardy robes. Who has a crystal ball and is showing them capturing Siren in this crystal ball, but it never happened because she never showed up because the decimation created some temporal confusion and he can't see the future anymore. And Mr. Tripp is like, all right, well, come back to me when you can give me more accurate information. Okay.
Now, I don't think the ghost dude comes back at all in the rest of these issues.
No.
But I did flip to the last issue because I'm like, this is 114 issues that Peter David wrote. I was like, let's just see what happens in the last issue. And it's like got a grown-up Layla Miller, and she talks to the ghost wizard for advice. So something happens in the next 114 issues for them.
Is he a ghost wizard?
Yeah, I think he might be. I think he might be Damien Tripp's dad. So
I was gonna say, do you want me to spoil it?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
They're all Damien Tripp. This is him who has lived like thousands of years, and there is Damien Tripp is also him, and then Damien Tripp Jr. is also him.
So that's the main. That's the main singularity dude that we're talking about.
Yes, it's all aspects of like the same guy who has like lived for like 1,000 years or whatever, and has like gone back in time from the future to like reincarnate or whatever. I forget exactly how he's done this to be Tripp Senior, but then he's also Tripp Junior. They're all
kind of
basically one guy.
Final thoughts for Peter David's full run. That's a pretty good foil against Multiple Man to have a villain with multiple time versions of himself. Yep. That's pretty neat. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But now I'm like, damn, this guy was talking very rudely to himself.
But Kang Immortus is always like, man, young me is stupid. I don't like him at all. He fucking sucks.
And Multiple Man was just very rude to his dupes. So sometimes we need to give ourselves some grace. Yeah,
sometimes we're our own worst enemy.
Please tell me why.
All right. So let's see. Richter, he's got a cool motorcycle, and he gives Monet a ride back to X Factor. She also tries to get him to join. I didn't really mention it, but Madrix on the roof was trying to kind of get him to join, but he's like, I'm depowered, like I'm no good, and he says no to Monet also. But Layla Miller gives him a coupon for gasoline at a service station 3 blocks north of here because she knows stuff. Okay, you can get some gas. Siren is checking out this cleaning lady sister at the hotel she works at. There's a movie star in a room. What was his name? Chris Vaughn. When they said Mr. Vaughn, I was like, Vince Vaughn? He's in the MCU.
Not Chris. No, it's Chris, not Vince.
Not Vince. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. We do have a Chris and a Vince here. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about movie star.
He's drawn to just look like Tom Cruise in Magnolia.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Or Vanilla Sky, like Tom Cruise with that haircut.
Mission Impossible 2 haircut also.
Okay, yeah. And his sister is sleeping, the client's sister is sleeping with the movie star, Mr. Vaughn, in his hotel room. It seems like it's a regular thing. Okay. Then at the gas station, there's some guy and his girlfriend, and they used to be mutants, but now they're depowered, and they're having an argument about it, and the guy's going crazy, and he's gonna like shoot his girlfriend over it because she like I don't know doesn't accept it. I don't know. This guy sucks. He's a toxic boyfriend. And Richter is there, sees all this, and he kind of tries to stop the guy, throws gas on him. Guy tries to shoot the gun, and he goes up in flames.
Oops.
Yep. Gloria is back at the X Factor office, and Siren is telling her, like, showing her the pictures, and like, yeah, they're just kind of sleeping together. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very interesting case. I don't know why we took it.
Yeah.
Case closed.
Madrix shows up saying he's trying to figure out all the stuff in his head and what's going on in his dupes. And then Richter shows up and he's like, yeah, I do want to hear this. I want to talk about that because one of your dupes fucking pushed me off the building. And then later at night, Madrix gets a call from Gloria. She's in the hotel room. She's under arrest for murdering her own sister. Oh my God.
But we just saw her sister. She was with that boy. The movie star.
We see that movie star in the hotel room too, and he's like, yeah, she was crazy. She came in, killed her. And Gloria just kind of confused. On to issue 3, Madrix and Siren go to check out the crime scene. They use Siren's new voice powers to get past the cops. And they're checking things out, but Mr. Tripp shows up and says, get these mutants out of here. She has the power to compel people with their voices. She could compel my client to confess or something. That'd be no good. Everyone put cotton balls in your ears and get her out of here. Richter, meanwhile, stops some hoodlums from beating up a mutant. I don't know if he's officially joined at this point, but it feels like he's just part of the team. A Strong Guy and Rain show up as backup, and they continue after these hoodlums while Richter gets the victim some help. There's lots of riots happening in Mutant Town post Decimation. We talk about that a little bit throughout this issue about how it's just kind of like all these sad ex-mutants and people are just kind of beating them up because they hated mutants and they don't care that they're depowered, I guess, and they're just easier to beat up now. Something like that. Back at the crime scene, or I guess back at the this is where Madrix uses his sort of lawyery abilities to be like, yeah, I'm her lawyer, of course. And Gloria says she does not remember killing her sister. And so they want to bring Monet in to read her mind. I don't really know Monet, but it seems like she's pretty powerful. She can fly, she's strong, and she's a telepath.
Yes.
What else is she? Anything else?
I mean, that's mostly it. So she used to be. There was a weird thing where she was sharing a body with her autistic twin sister or something like that.
Okay.
But that has been resolved. She's no longer doing that. She was basically like Generation X's The Sentry, where it's like when she was helpful, she was like by far the most powerful member, but then sometimes she would just not help at all.
Okay. That seems to be her vibe in this book, though. She often does not want to help or be part of anything.
Yes. And I love that Peter David has found another like Quicksilver for the team that is just like seems to hate everyone.
She really doesn't want to be bothered. She's in her room with headphones on, singing. Richter tries to come in and thinks she says come in, but she was just singing, and catches her naked, and she's pissed, punches him out. She's like trying to use the sink. She's telling Layla about like, hey, the sink's broken, like there's no screws in there.
The tub.
Oh yeah. The tub, the faucet for the tub. She's just unhappy about everything. Now some guy punches Richter out at X Factor Investigations. Is this the guy he rescued punching him out?
No, this is somebody from Singularity, right?
Okay, that's what I thought, but I also thought for a second like that maybe somebody from Singularity was posing as a guy getting beaten up so that they would bring him in and he could kill them. You know what I mean?
Was it the same guy? I don't remember.
I don't know. I was just like, where'd this guy come from? So I assumed it was that same body, but it doesn't really matter. A guy shows up, punches out Richter, and calls his boss and says, yeah, I've got him punched out and I'm about to kill him. Which I feel like, just wait and call your boss afterwards. You know what I mean? Because Layla Miller shows up to stop him. Tells him, like, hey, I know the Singularity figured that there was some confusion about the future because somebody joined up with X Factor who wasn't supposed to. And I know you think it's Richter, but it's actually me. And I'm here to make sure that X Factor doesn't find out the truth about the Decimation.
It is the guy that Richter brought in.
Okay.
I'm looking at him now.
And she also holds up the screws from the faucet handles that she took. And the fucking tub is overflowing and it drops on him or something, and he gets all wet, or like a bunch of water drips on him, and he's like, "That's just water, whatever, it doesn't matter." And then he gets electrocuted. Cool.
I do love the ending of that issue where Layla Miller's like, your heart's gonna stop in like 5 seconds, and he's just like, who are you
talking about? Yeah.
And it's just her in the dark holding the flashlight up to her face. And you're like, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. She's a good creepy little girl who's with the good guys, which I think is always neat.
Yeah, I love that they don't explain her powers for like another 100 issues.
So on to issue number 4 here. Siren and Madrix, they call in Monet for some psychic work on Gloria so they can figure out, like, look in her mind, see what she remembers, because she doesn't remember anything.
I do love, because Madrix is like, I don't have time to listen to the end of your sentence, Monet. And she's just like, fine. And then she's just like, Layla, Madrix says you should deal with that body in the dining room, because she's just like, all right, well, he doesn't want to listen to me say like, oh yeah, a guy just died here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm delegating it to Layla Miller.
Yep. So Monet heads over there and tells them, I guess they hear about Strong Guy and Rain at these Mutant Town riots that they're at now in the middle of. And so Siren heads over there to give them some backup. And she does a big old scream to clear away all the rioters and the cops and everything. Monet does some psychic stuff in the girl's head and sees the truth. Basically, this movie star, Jack Vaughn. It was not Chris Vaughn. I just had Vince and Chris in my head. Oh, my goodness. Where did that come from? It was Jack Vaughn. Jack Vaughn was just sleeping with this cleaning lady and also maybe coercing her into it with an unloaded gun. Or I guess with a loaded gun. Yeah, it was a loaded gun. She sees that when the sister shows up, he got surprised and accidentally shot the gun and killed the cleaning lady, her sister. I guess he's just a violent person.
But it was like a sexual thing. Went wrong. But he does wake up from the dream and is like, I'll kill you again.
Yeah, like Monet goes to, like, Jack Vaughn is talking to Singularity and he's like, I just want to get back to LA. So he gets on a plane and Monet shows up at his plane and like puts this vision in his head. And yeah, he's just screaming an insane confession. And he's on the news about like, hey, this movie star wants him screaming about murdering a cleaning lady, and now he's arrested.
I do feel like you need a little bit more than that.
A little bit.
Like just waking up from a dream, being like, oh, I had a dream that I killed somebody. Like, that's all I need to hear. Lock him up.
Well, I guess he knows he did kill her, and so he's like haunted. Like Monet gets this vision of like the ghost with the gunshot in her head, and is like, I'm never leaving you. And he's like, ah. So I feel like that was enough of the little more to drive somebody insane. You know what I mean?
I understand that he was driven insane, but I'm just saying, like, in court, you're just going to be like, okay, well, he woke up from a dream talking crazy about how he was going to kill somebody. like earlier in issue 2, Siren has a dream that Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson from Star Wars follow her into the toilet.
Yeah.
So it's just like dreams can be weird.
Mm-hmm. They can be.
This is after Liam Neeson hasn't been in 2 Star Wars movies without Liam Neeson have come out since then. Well, she loves her episode 1.
She just loves Ewan McGregor, I guess, and then
but she's like, no, Liam, no. If there's something she just says like that.
I think the dream was focused on Ewan McGregor, and she's like, "Oh, Liam's here too. Okay, that's fine."
Not Hayden.
Something
okay,
like that.
Interesting. All right.
Nah, you don't want that guy. That guy doesn't have arms and legs.
It's true.
And what Ewan's Scottish, right? She's Irish, and then Liam's Irish, so makes sense.
Oh,
okay. There we cracked it.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden's just American. She not interested.
Not into it.
Boo.
Yep. Let's see. Layla Miller deals with the body, packs it up in a big box, and sends it back to Singularity. All right, cool.
It rules.
And let's see. Madrix and Siren, they like talking. They keep calling this the longest day of their lives. Like, oh boy, that was a rough day. Like, in the scope of comic books, it didn't seem that bad. You know what I mean? Like longest day of our lives. I don't know. But heading home, Siren gets a poison dart in her neck, and then we see a guy beating her mercilessly and then walking away.
It's the Trip Jr., the guy who confronted them in issue 2, saying like, "Don't talk to her. She's a mutant. She can mind control you."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, that was Trip Jr. I thought that was regular Trip. I didn't even realize. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and again, spoiler alert for
they're all the same.
100 issues later. Yeah, they're all part of the same guy.
I can't believe you wrote this for 100 issues. That's crazy.
114.
Wow.
It's crazy. I don't know any comic that has like the same writer from like 2005 on for 114 issues, like in mainstream comics.
That's like what, 9, 10 years?
It was like into like 2013.
9.5. Jeez. Why?
I hated how they did the numbering though, because they did the first 50 issues, and then I think 51 or 52, they went back to like, we're counting everything together, so now it's 200.
Yeah.
So they had 50, and then like an issue or two later, they're like 200, and both I think were double sized, and it just you're just like, okay, this is getting hard to like keep up with what the hell is going on.
I do appreciate
like somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow 50 issues, I can be like, oh, I've read all this. I own all this. 200, I'm like, what's happening?
Captain America did that too. I think they had like 50 issues, and then like real close afterwards, it switched to like 600. Yeah, they were doing a lot of that in that era too. I appreciate that Marvel, at least now, like for right now, keeps like as like a legacy number. Like they just like relaunched Amazing Spider-Man again this summer, but it says like Legacy 974 underneath that number 1, and I'm like, okay, good. Like, so at least I can track how many Amazing Spider-Man issues I've missed based off of that.
It's crazy, dude. 974.
I
guess it's because they were doing the weekly books.
Well, because they got rid of all the Spider-Man spin-offs, and because there were 36 issues of Amazing Spider-Man for several years, so they really...
Yeah.
Because I get tapped out whenever Dan Slott left, and I want to say that was either 700 or 800. I'm not sure. And that was that, and then so I've missed all of Amazing since then. I think I've been gone since issue 800.
So they're not doing Web of Spider-Man anymore?
They ended up doing that, but in the mid 2000s they canceled Web and Spectacular, Sensational, Friendly Neighborhood, Tangled Web, all of those.
Knights,
Adjectiveless.
Oh yeah. Adjectiveless. Yeah.
But there's only one X Factor.
That is, I think that's one of the funniest things in comic books to me, is that there was a Spider-Man book that was just referred to as Adjectiveless because it was just Spider-Man.
Just regular Spider-Man.
Oh,
X-Men was the same way, right? Adjectiveless X-Men?
Yeah. Yeah, they had just regular X-Men was the 90s one.
Yeah.
And it was the same basic thing where it was Todd McFarlane did Spider-Man and Jim Lee did X-Men, where they're just like, we're giving a second book to or I guess a fourth book for Spider-Man, a second book for the X-Men, to our artist who had gotten big on the flagship title.
And then they made Unlimited, which was for the 5 Wednesdays when there was a 5th Wednesday in months. So there's 4 of those a month.
Yes.
Insane.
We're getting off track though. So what happens then? So Siren gets knocked out. The good news is the 5th issue is the most villainy issue. I mean, it's not bad.
No, yeah, it's a lot more self-contained. I don't want to say self-contained, but it's a lot more focused on one scene, with just Siren and a little bit of Richter. Basically, Siren has been beaten in this alley or whatever. She's who knows. Richter goes to a diner to meet Siren. She's a regular there, but the waitress is like, yeah, she didn't come in today. And some crazy doctor who used to be a mutant but has been depowered has picked up Siren's body from the alley, taken her to a nearby theater, like an abandoned theater, and strapped her into the audience. His name is Dr. Leary, and he makes some jokes about that. Her vocal cords have been paralyzed by the dart, so she's kind of useless. And he's just talking about all his sad ex-mutant doctor stuff, you know?
I don't
Richter's
like these
looking
issues.
around for her. You don't like them?
I don't like these issues. I don't like the Wolverine has an issue like this in the Weapon X comic, or an arc where it's just like, I've been kidnapped by a mean scientist and our hero's paralyzed and it's kind of gross and unsanitary, and then they're kind of traumatized by the end of it. I'm like, I don't need this. I don't like it. This is not the type of book I like to read.
That's fair. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. It's very much like I don't even know. I guess Hannibal. Like that sort of serial killer thriller vibe that doesn't really fit what the book has been to this point. Because it's like this is just a random maniac.
And there's no compared to the rest of this book, like it's constantly cutting between scenes and stuff. Like this book doesn't really do that as much. Like sure, it cuts back and forth between the Doctor and then Richter kind of looking for Siren, but it's all focused on one plot line as opposed to just kind of like jumping around from all the other stuff that we're dealing with.
Like CSI has these type of episodes where it's almost like a bottle episode where like a single.
It
location.
is a very CSI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Siren is great. I think she's a great character, and she was not particularly well used in a lot of other comics. And I feel like Peter David does a good job of like finding all the plot information that is searchable on her in 2004, which is like, oh, she's an alcoholic, she's a Banshee's daughter, blah blah blah, and is like able to make her into a very interesting character pretty quickly. Where she's not as religious as Rain, but she's like, no, I'm not gonna swear to you. Like, fuck off with this. Mm-hmm. He's like, swear to me, you'll figure out what caused decimation. And she's like, no.
Yeah. He's just kind of a crazy man in an abandoned theater. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. So Richter finds her X-Tracker in an alley, and he sees a theater door, and he's like, oh, I might as well check in here. And yeah, the Doctor thinks that X-Factor is responsible for the detonation. She's saying no. He wants to send X-Factor Investigations a letter, but he thinks he's like worried it'll be ignored. So he's like, it might get more attention if I attach your hair or your ear or an eye or a tongue or something like that. And then they hear Richter calling out for Teresa in the theater. And he's walking through trying to find her, and the Doctor comes behind him about to get him with a knife, but Siren manages to get a scream off, breaks his glasses, gets in his eye. Richter cuts one of those theater ropes backstage, and he gets all tangled up in a noose, and he's hanging from the neck.
Like Clayton from Tarzan.
Exactly like Clayton from Tarzan. I don't know that movie. Or that I guess Tarzan is more than a movie, but
it's one of the. I mean, I think that is rated G. Vince, you have children. Maybe you would know better than me, but it does involve the villain accidentally hanging himself.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, in silhouette, you see the neck snap. It's pretty crazy. I want to say it is G-rated. The Son of Man.
I was for some reason I was thinking like, is that the Tarzan with Brendan Fraser? But then I realized that's George of the Jungle.
That's George of the Jungle.
Yeah. Who is not Tarzan?
No, he's George of the Jungle.
Yeah, I don't think the villain in George of the Jungle has his neck snapped on screen.
I think he should.
That would be an odd call for a silly movie about Brendan Fraser being a child of apes. So yes, Richter kills that guy. He's able to carry Siren out of the theater, and she is more or less fine. That's issue 5.
That's issue 5.
Doesn't really connect to any of the rest of the other subplots going on.
Nope. We should mention that's the first issue with Dennis Calero as the artist.
Full time. He'd been filling in for the other issues.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He'd been there since issue 2.
And he's good. He's got a nice dark vibe to his art style here. I like it. It's not like I do like that. I kind of have like for Ryan Sook's art. It's almost like cell shaded, you know what I mean? With those thick, dark outlines, it kind of looks like those cell shaded video games in a way. It just makes me think of that. But this is more of a naturally dark art style, I guess. More of a almost Lionel Yu kind of feeling vibe to it.
Yeah,
I don't know. All right, on to issue 6, though. What do we got? Everyone's talking about keeping Siren safe. Like, oh, we can't take her to the hospital. Like, the press, blah, blah, blah. Who knows if they'll attack her again. We should keep her here. And then things turn to, like, talking about Layla. Like, how does she know everything? Richter wants to know, and he's really questioning her. And they ask her point blank, but she doesn't say anything. A strong guy tells Richter to stay out of the girl's face.
I do love Strong Guy too, because like he doesn't really know what's going on, but he's just like, no, you're being an asshole here. Like, stop it. Where, Richter's like, you could have set all this up. We don't know anything about you, which is all technically true. But Strong Guy's like, leave her alone. I don't like your tone.
I will say one of the things I also kind of noticed is that, like, in the first book, I feel like Strong Guy was 100% the comic relief of the book. Like, all the writing is a little bit funny and just kind of the way Peter David writes. But Strong Guy was just like, I feel like the most heaviest point of comic relief. Where here he's very different. He's a more mature Strong Guy. He's a strong man. And like, he doesn't really do a whole lot in these issues. He's just kind of there, and there's not a whole lot of focus on him yet.
I do like, he is plays into this last issue, which I thought was cool.
So Layla is sitting outside. Rain shows up to talk to her. She hasn't been a part of any of this, and Layla's telling her, like, oh yeah, Siren's all hurt and it's my fault. And then some lady from the orphanage shows up because Layla called them. She had run away from the orphanage because she was a mutant and all the other kids freaked out, but she's not a mutant anymore, so she's going to go back. And a butterfly had landed on Layla's hand earlier, and it was with her for a few scenes, but it's dead now, so she just kind of drops it and leaves it there. Okay. They got a doctor to come check on Siren, and the doctor says that whoever beat Siren up didn't want her dead. They did maximum damage without it being permanent, so I think it was just a warning. Okay.
And then we also found out last issue that they had, like, shot a dart into her, like, vocal cords or whatever. So they clearly knew how to, like, stop her mutant powers and then beat the crap out of her.
So they're figuring that out. Rain comes in to tell Madrix about Layla Miller leaving for the orphanage. Strong Guy is thinking that it was the Singularity that got Siren. That they should go confront them, but they have no proof. So Strong Guy and Madrix go to confront Damian. What was the D name? Damian? Tripp's son.
Damien Tripp.
DT Jr. Damien Tripp's son, while he's on a jog in Central Park. This is where we get the whole Madrix army there, just kind of like as a threat. Like, yeah, we'll get you if you keep coming after us or something. And then Madrix and Rain go to visit Layla in the orphanage. She's got a black eye, puffy face, all that. And they're like, who beat you up? But she won't say anything. No one says anything. But she talks about chaos theory and the butterfly effect and making things happen. She tells them that, she knows stuff. She knew she could like affect changes and stuff. But it's all very vague. She can't tell them how she knows all this stuff because she'll be struck down and die if she does tell them.
Okay. And she also admits that she knew that Siren was going to be attacked, but she's like, it had to happen, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So she feels bad about it.
Yeah. So they, Rain and Madrix are talking to this orphanage lady, and they're like, "Hey, we want to take her." And she's like, "Yeah, that's impossible. Y'all aren't even a family. Like, we can't just let X Factor Investigations adopt her, and the paperwork would be crazy. But like, if Layla escapes again, I mean, there'd be so much paperwork to do. I don't even know if I'd be able to get to it." So she kind of looks the other way as they take Layla. And that's the end of the first arc. Hey, we did it.
Yeah.
So neat, pretty nice little status quo to set things up on. A lot of little hanging mysteries here. Vince, what'd you think?
I've tried to read this book a few times over the last 20 years. And I was like, why? I like a noir book. I like Peter David. I like all these characters. I like the art. And similarly, this time it's kind of lost me. I like the first couple issues, and then I'm just kind of losing interest as the book goes on. I'm not really sure why.
Interesting. Chris, do you have any more insight?
No, I love this book. I know, like I said, I was complaining about after issue 50, it gets a little weird when Layla like works for Doctor Doom, and it gets very soap opera and crazy. Yes, she becomes an adult and marries Madrix, of course.
Hey,
turns into a demon. I saw in that last issue.
What?
Well, we find out what her powers are. It's not a surprise that it's demon related.
Interesting.
But did you mention, Kia, that the butterfly was alive again? That had been dead.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a plot. Like, that's kind of a spoiler for like what Layla's powers are.
Bringing butterflies back to life is her power.
Yeah, only butterflies. But anyway, so I really enjoy this. I love that it is so like true to the characters. Like when Longshot joins, he's such a fun character, and I'm just like, oh, it's such a blast that he is. It's literally they kind of stole it in Deadpool and Cable when they're like, luck isn't a power, where it's like Longshot is just like, he's so lucky that like his life is just like charmed, and he's confused when like other people. I mean, he's like the 30 Rock bubble where like everything just works for him, and it's such a great character to add. It's great. The next arc is when Quicksilver joins, or I guess joins the book as a villain for a little while. It's very stupid. He gets Terrigen Mists, like steals them and puts them on his body, and is like going around giving people their mutant powers back by like touching them.
That.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's very stupid. It's like the idea, I guess, is that he's gone insane again. But he hates Layla Miller because she foils him through some Daffy Duck, like tricked him into doing something situation. But it's very fun. I feel like it's all very true to the character. It's soap opera-y, and it's like if you want to see characters like be happy and not have awful things happen to them, you won't enjoy this because awful things are happening to them all the time, especially Siren. I feel so bad for her. But I love it. It's a very fun book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoy it as well. I just really like Peter David's writing. It always flows super, super well for me in terms of just kind of keeping things interesting and engaging while also being entertaining in its own way. And yeah, Vince, I can see how the book lost you just because the last 2 issues were both like one was focused on Siren being trapped, and the other one was just kind of focused on this orphanage stuff. But I think the book is a lot better when it is kind of weaving in and out of a lot of different things,
I agree.
Which Peter David is really good at. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't got anything else to say about it other than part of me is like, I kind of want to read that Madrix miniseries again that
That's
he
what I was
wrote
thinking about
to
too,
kind of kick this thing off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do that separately. And who knows? Maybe I'll read all 114 issues of this, but I don't think I will.
That's still crazy that he got a 114 issue run in this era of comics.
It is wild to just stay on one book for almost 10 years. That's crazy.
Because they restart everything.
I feel like that never happens.
Yeah, nobody gets more than like, I mean, unless it's like the flagship book of like Spider-Man or something. Like, I don't feel like you would cancel any book if it wasn't. I don't know, or you'd retool it. I don't know. It's surprising to me. Or they were like, he looks like he's doing good. He's got a consistent audience. Just let him do his thing.
It's crazy. Yeah. I remember when they relaunched it during the all new, all different in 2013 or 14. Gambit was the lead of X Factor, and I read maybe 1 or 2, and I was like, "No, this is stupid." I don't even remember who the creative team was, but I was like, I understand they don't want like Madrix to be the main character, but it's just like, what is this?
And this was in the Peter David run, or just in the
No. This was after his 114 issues. They relaunched it with the all new, all different, like brand, like after whatever they called when Captain Marvel got its like relaunch, and they were doing all like Daredevil got its like second relaunch, and they were
like the like basically it's or something. Yeah.
Yes. It ended all of the like Avengers evil stuff. It's basically the end of Bendis writing Avengers.
Yeah, like, we're no longer going to be dark. We're going to like try to be happy for like a half a second.
Exactly. Which, like I said, led to a Gambit team book where he led X Factor for some reason. It didn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, and generally, like, I don't know if the X Factor name means anything. Like we talked about how before Peter David's 90 years run, it was something. It was just like kind of like the original X-Men, like a book for them, and then became like a government team, and now as a detective team. So like the name doesn't really hold anything. So why would you put Gambit in a team? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Called X Factor, just make a Gambit book. But okay. It's weird.
Yeah, I would say X Factor. Gambit's probably the third best leader. We got Madrix number 1. I think Crimson Cowl was probably number 2.
Yeah, he's got the X
Factor.
And then
Gambit number 3.
I guess Polaris was on the team, so they at least had one of the like classic members. But still, pretty crazy.
Okay. Well, anything else to say about X Factor before we jump over to Thunderbolts number 25? I don't think I said at the beginning of the episode that we're also doing Thunderbolts like we always have been doing. But anything else to say about X Factor?
I think I'm good.
All right, so Thunderbolts number 25. It's a big old double-sized issue here. We are dealing with the Thunderbolts have just come up on the Masters of Evil, and there's 25 of them. There's so many. But before that, we jump around to all over the world. We've got the Avengers are dealing with a freak storm in Manhattan. The New Warriors are dealing with it in Connecticut. X-Force in San Francisco. There's Captain Britain in London. We got Tokyo, Irkutsk, even the Great Lakes Avengers in Ohio cameo from our friends.
Don't sleep on the Tokyo team. It's the Big Hero 6. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what Baymax is though. He is not the white like balloon thing from the movie that I know. Is he a dragon monster?
Friend? I see.
I think he's like a dragon monster.
I don't know. Yeah, dragon monster. Yeah.
I really thought Big Hero 6 was created for that miniseries we read. I'm constantly astonished when I see Big Hero 6. Because I like that movie a lot.
Do they call them Big Hero 6 in this?
Yes. The samurai guy goes, "Enough, both of you. Big Hero 6 was created to save lives."
Oh, you're right. He does. Yeah.
I think, was it... I forget if it was an Alpha Flight. They showed up in some other book, and then they had a mini series. But yes, they're there. The New Warriors, which this is before the New Warriors Civil War stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're in between the first and the second series right now because they had a series that lasted about 15 issues in like 2000.
Yeah, because I don't see Speedball here. I see like a young Nova because he's skinnier.
And Turbo.
Yeah, there we go.
And
then
a lot of cameos.
X-Force. I don't know what era of X-Force this is.
This is we read some of this.
Yeah.
This is when Danny Moonstar was on the team.
Yes, we read X-Force around this time, but I don't know exactly when.
I know how well you guys remembered that. It was so memorable to all of us. But yes, that was the. Let's see. There's Domino.
Yep.
Sunfire, Proudstar. There's Siren.
Hey,
she's in both
Friend
books.
Of the show.
Coast to coast.
And Cannonball, which seems like a mistake because I don't think Cannonball was part of that team.
I don't know. It doesn't matter much because it's just a one-panel cameo from the whole team here.
It reminds me of when X-Men, the cartoon, would always do this. Just show like, meanwhile, and show like a mute, like half second of like Moon Knight or whatever, or Ghost Rider, and be like, they're not in this. We don't have a voice for them.
But they exist.
They're reacting to this.
It reminds me of like Secret Wars 2 when they're like, everybody's in this, and like Doctor Strange has one line, and like that was bullshit. He was in one panel. Don't put him on the cover. I bought it because Doctor Strange was here. You fuckers.
Nobody buys a book for Doctor Strange.
No, but I would buy a book if I saw that my Big Hero 6 and GLA were in a comic book together.
They should put them on more covers.
They should. They would get my whatever it is now, $4.99 for an issue. They would not. They would. I don't buy. I don't. So. I just do Marvel Unlimited, DC Infinite. Although I might have to figure out how to get the Deadpool Batman comic, because Marvel and DC had their first like crossovers, and I don't feel like those are going to end up on those streaming services.
So. The first crossovers in how long?
Oh my Since goodness. JLA Avengers by Kurt
Holy
Busiek.
Shit!
It's like 20 years. Yeah. There's a Deadpool Batman and the Batman Deadpool. Whoever's the first character in the book is like the Batman Deadpool is published by DC. Deadpool Batman is published by Marvel, and then they have like backup stories with other.
Which one do you read first?
I don't know. Grant Morrison is writing a Deadpool Batman story though. I know that.
Ooh, I'll check that out.
Yeah, so I am intrigued, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait for a trade. But will there be a trade? Because like I don't know who gets the money. I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't want to figure that out right now.
All right, on to the main story here. We got the Thunderbolts. They are coming up on the Masters of Evil, and the Crimson Cowl is talking to the whole crew and saying, like, I planned all this, and we're going to take over the world and demand a $1 trillion ransom. Well, she hasn't actually done that yet. But so Hawkeye and the crew, they're all looking at this, and Hawkeye's like, all right, we got to get closer to the controls if we want to destroy this thing. But it's too risky with 25 supervillains there. So Moonstone, you should go in, infiltrate them, tell them you want to join. Because didn't they offer y'all membership before? And you're the least trustworthy. She's like, she argues at first, but she's like, fine. And she goes with it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's just like, if any of them are going to betray him, it's like, obviously it's you.
So we flash back to... a little bit of Moonstone's childhood. She used to live in a mansion that was owned by a movie producer because her dad was his butler. And she was like best friends with the producer's daughter, Deanna. But Moonstone kind of hated her and just manipulated her into getting stuff from her. And when her dad died, she and her mom left to make a new life for themselves and all that sort of stuff. And she shows up to the Crimson Cowl and says, I want to join. And the Cowl kind of believes her, but not 100%. And she's like, we're not taking on anyone new right now. So if you're down to join, will you accept if we put these power dampening shackles on you and we put you in prison? And Moonstone's like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, don't. Hey, speaking of the flashback, have we ever seen Moonstone's like back history, or is this all brand new? It's definitely
I
new
think
to
in this
it's
book,
new to
it's
us.
new. Yeah.
It has been explained before. 'Cause she is the second Moonstone. She I guess gets to it in this book, but she stole the powers from another guy. I do love, so we're not going to name all 25 people. I did look up because there's one of them that I was just like, I have no idea who this is. Lodestone. I've never heard of them. I just looked them up. They were a Darkhawk villain.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
They had been in like 5 issues of Darkhawk. They've been in 9 issues of comics total ever. Wow. 2 of them are Thunderbolts 24 and 25.
My goodness.
That's one less issue than Singularity Investigations, which made it to 10 issues, I saw, according to the Marvel Wikia.
But she was in 3 issues of Darkhawk and 1 annual of Darkhawk, which is wild that Darkhawk had annual.
Wow. Yeah.
Darkhawk had an annual? The demand was so high.
We needed more.
On one of these big 25 villain pages, you'll see the editor's note that was like, hey, if you can name the first appearance of every single one of these 25 villains, then you'll win a no prize or whatever.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah.
It would be pretty hard with Lodestone, Darkhawk number 9 or whatever.
Back in the late 90s, I think it would have been a lot harder to find this info, too.
It would have. I know Joystick is from, I think, Scarlet Spider or late Spider-Man before he became Scarlet Spider, because I remember her. Cardinal was with the New Warriors. Some of these are like famous enough that I'm like, well, obviously we all know like Boomerang, but then some of them you're just like Shatterfist. Who the hell is this?
Aqueduct?
Do I know Boomerang?
Aqueduct is probably the dumbest name in my.
We covered Boomerang for Superior Foes of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's the assassin
who
worked for the Kingpin.
Yeah.
I was thinking, isn't there also a Captain Boomerang who's a Flash villain?
Yeah, that's DC. Yeah,
that's DC. Yeah. He's played by Jack Courtney in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, this Boomerang was like a baseball player who then became a hitman. But he's pretty, and like Manape, who references. It's funny, like now we all know who Manape is because he was in a movie 7 years ago.
He's in M'Baku.
Yes, and now he's like
M'Baku's my boy.
I
love M'Baku. He's great.
Yeah, he was great in that movie.
Winston Duke, is that the actor? Yeah, he's great.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, it's funny that he's such a loser in this that like he is beaten off screen.
He's the first one. Yeah. All right, so we got a few of the villains. They're escorting Moonstone to a jail cell. They're all arguing about various stuff, like, hey, what are we going to do with the money? I'm so unhappy to be whatever. All the reasons they're unhappy. Moonstone's just happy to be listening to them so she can, like, think about ways to get, like, into their heads.
I like how they are thinking about, like, I'm going to retire. Like, no, bro, you're, like, in this life forever. Like, you're not going to... Oh.
It is funny that it's Constrictor saying that because like he's part of Damage Control and She-Hulk and stuff, like not as a villain. Like he is such a like workaday like bad guy. It's kind of great. He's just like, yeah, this is just my job. I'm just a villain.
This is when we see M'Baku get picked off by Atlas when he's on his own. We get some more Moonstone flashback too, how she stole the Moonstone from Lloyd Block, the original Moonstone. But then she had a hard time as a solo villain, so she joined a group and she liked having people she could manipulate. And then she starts thinking, like, maybe the Masters of Evil would be easier to manipulate than the Thunderbolts. Like, maybe I could take over this team. And then she notices like a key that magically kind of shows up in her jail cell for her power dampening shackles. And she's like, okay, all right.
We don't find out who that key's from. That's a mystery.
No, that's a lingering mystery. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So then the Thunderbolts kind of attack and take out the other 4 villains who were escorting her. It was Lodestone, Joystick, Shatterfist, and I wrote down Charcoal, but he's one of the Thunderbolts, so not Charcoal. That's someone
knocked
else.
out Charcoal.
Yep. And then we hear Crimson Cowl, make an announcement over the intercom saying, we're about to take off. And the Thunderbolts are like, oh no, we're going to get stuck down here if we don't get to the ship. We should dress up at these villains like we did to trick the Great Lakes Avengers. Or no, they say, what were the lightning rods? That's what they were called. But then the whole base takes off. It's all one giant ship. So they didn't even need to dress up as these villains. And then Crimson Cowl opens a video chat with the Secretary General, the President, and the Ambassador. I don't know which ambassador, but she says, "Hey, y'all are all important. We have a $1 trillion ransom, and we'll stop the weather machine." And they're like, "What?" So they're gonna go figure that out. Moonstone hears all the Thunderbolts talking outside her cell, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is a terrible decision on their part. They're all gonna get trapped up here and get screwed up." And she decides she's gonna turn them in. And she gets Flying Tiger to take her to Crimson Cowl, and she sells them all out. And she's like, "Yeah, the Thunderbolts are here, dressed up as your people in the corner over there." And they're all just like, "What the fuck?" And a giant fight breaks out. The Thunderbolts, though, their odds are better than they originally thought because the Masters of Evil are too much of a crowd. They're not able to work as a unit. There's too much friendly fire between them, and the Thunderbolts can just kind of punch in any direction and hit a bad guy. The Crimson Cowl is up in the command center, the main controls and everything with the weather machine. She's got two henchmen with her. Who are these henchmen? I don't know.
Dragonfly and I forget what the guy's name is.
Dragonfly and
Sunstroke.
Of course, Sunstroke.
Don't know who Sunstroke is.
Nope. And she kind of separates the command center from the rest of the ship and just lets the rest of the ship fall down to the ground while the mothership weather machine keeps flying. Also, Moonstone is up there with them in the main thing. And Carla Moonstone is seeing a good opportunity here. She's like, "I'm alone up here." It's like she's kind of constantly thinking throughout the next bits, like, "Okay, what do I do? Do I kind of stick as the Crimson Cowl's number 2 and take a bunch of this money? Do I beat her and take over and be the leader and take more of this money? What do I do?" And she's kind of thinking about how she can kind of take over the Masters of Evil as best as possible. Let's see. During the fight, Blackwing, is that his name? Takes down Hawkeye. I don't know who Blackwing is. Never heard of this guy.
He's a Daredevil villain from the 70s, I think. I recognize him.
And then all the Thunderbolts just kind of stop in their tracks, like, "Oh no, he's been taken down." But then they keep fighting. They're all fine. Man Killer, we've seen her as part of the Masters of Evil throughout the run of this book. She starts running from the fight and runs into Cyclone, a French guy. And he's like, "What are you doing? You're running?" And she's like, "Listen, all the important stuff is happening up above. The weather machine is up there. It's all flying up there. We're on the ground. None of this fighting matters. I'm getting out of here." And Cyclone's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just go." So the Thunderbolts win the fight on the ground. And then up top in the sky, we see Moonstone knocking out the two flunkies up there. And she blasts the Crimson Cowl. The big old ship crashes to the ground. And then once the Thunderbolts get to the crash site, Moonstone is like, "Hey, I found Crimson Cowl in the wreckage." And rips off her cowl to reveal Dallas Reardon. What? That was Atlas's girlfriend. And Atlas is like, "What's going on?" And Dallas says nothing. She's like, "I'm not going to give you all the satisfaction of telling you anything. Just call the police."
That's actually pretty badass, and that does because you're always like, I always hate when they come up with bullshit reasons to not give us lore. This one's pretty good. She's like, "I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction." And I'm like, damn, she's cold as ice.
Yep. And then we get a little resolution scene where Hawkeye's proud of all of them. Moonstone's just thinking to herself, like, "Why did I do that? Why did I save the world instead of just being greedy? And also, where did that key come from? So that's it for Thunderbolts 25. And I think that's it for our long read. This book keeps going a while longer, but we are done reading it for now. But that's a nice stopping point here. Vince, what'd you think?
I thought this was a really good issue. I liked it. I really liked Moonstone. I think I like when Moonstone's on. It gets more screen time. I think Moonstone's the best part of this book. I like her more than I like all the guys on the team. I can tell you that. I like her, and I like Jolt, and I like Songbird. But I like getting like her backstory. I like how it like zigs when it should zag. Like my mother worked like 3 jobs to put me through college, and you're supposed to be like, and that's why my mother was an inspiration. And she's like, my mother was stupid. I'm never gonna be that stupid ever. Like it's such an interesting character motivation that you don't usually hear in a book. So that's fun. It's like something different, and I really liked her backstory. I thought it was the good like through line of the whole issue. I am like, this is what Busiek does. Like we're kind of done. We've been reading this for a year now, for this podcast, but like a tenth of this podcast actually, when we think about it. But I'm like, I'm kind of, I like where it's going. I'm like, who did give her that key? But I'm kind of, I'm ready to go. But it was
a little burnt out. Yeah,
I'm a little burnt out, but it was a really good book. I think it really started picking up again here in the back half of the second year. I still miss Zemo. I think that first year was really strong.
Yeah.
So, but we wouldn't stick with a book for 26 issues of a long read if it wasn't really good. So here we are.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it was a little uneven, but I like this. To me, I like the status quo a lot. That this is like a team that can fight with other like good super teams, like Great Lakes Avengers or whatever, but can also still have these other adventures. I think the third year is fun too, and obviously there's more. You know, we're not done with Dallas Riordan or the mysteries of where that key came from. We're not reading on issue 30 has a cover that I've always remembered, where it's just Hawkeye and Moonstone kissing. And just the caption underneath just says, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Because you're just like, yeah, that does seem like something bad is happening. Like Moonstone has somehow tricked Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
I think the characters, it's similar to what we were talking about with X Factor. The characters are so well defined that they're able to have their own moments at different times. Like this is mostly the Moonstone show, which is great because she's probably, I agree with Vince, the best character on the team. I like Melissa Songbird, especially now that it seems like she's over the storyline she had, which I did not like.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Where she was just grouchy for like 10 issues.
Mm-hmm.
But she has very cool powers and she looks cool. So I like her.
Her hair and costume is so cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but Moonstone's great. I like the direction of the book. I think there's still a lot of story that, this is, it's the cool thing about superhero comics. It's like, we know what actually happened, but I do feel like there's a lot of different ways the story could have gone from this point where they're still kind of setting up a status quo, but it's a lot of fun because you don't have like all this baggage of like, oh, but this would actually, contradict this other thing, like because there's just not that many stories with these characters.
Yeah,
like but for the grace of God, Songbird would be one of the 25 losers that I had to Google and learn that they're from a Darkhawk issue.
Mm-hmm. Screaming Mimi.
Exactly. Yeah, she was in a handful of issues, but it was not like Moonstone was a little bigger of a character on her own, but like Screaming Mimi was pretty lame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I generally agree with everything y'all have been saying. Moonstone really is the best. My main memory of the rest of these issues is that they somehow, as a team, end up on Counter Earth, which was like that Earth on the other side of the sun that Franklin Richards created because of Onslaught. But they end up over there, and Moonstone meets the Moonstone of that world, who is, I think, the original Oliver Block or whatever. And like has an affair with him and then kills him and takes his moonstone. So she has 2 moonstones now. That's the main thing I remember. And the other thing I remember is that Dallas Riordan turns out to not be the Crimson Cowl. It gets like retconned to be like, oh yeah, in the crash, she got away and like replaced Dallas Riordan in her cowl or something like that. I don't remember.
I read that Dallas Riordan ends up being Citizen V.
Correct.
Yeah.
We didn't see that yet, though, right?
No, that is all that's been revealed is that Citizen V is a woman. And then we have not gotten who that is.
Okay, because that's where I was confused. Like I read, because I was like, so I was looking up Citizen V's history, and I was like, Dallas Reardon, Citizen V, that's interesting. And then she was revealed as the Crimson Cowl. I'm like, now I don't know what the fuck I read. Like maybe I was completely wrong. Okay, I was really thrown for a loop. Okay.
Yeah, it's. No, yeah. I mean, so, sorry to spoil it, but it's Justin Hammer's daughter is Crimson Cowl.
Sam Rockwell.
Nothing that exciting.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell's daughter.
Yeah.
He's probably done his time. He can probably be out of prison and be back in Marvel movies now. He's been in prison for 15 years. Yeah, he could probably come back.
Sam Rockwell is?
He was, well, his character in...
his character. I thought the actor.
They brought back the bad guy from... One of the bad guys from Incredible Hulk came back. Tim Blake Nelson's character came back to be the villain in Captain America 4. Because he did his time. He'd been in prison for 15 years. And now he's out of prison and causing trouble for the president. Who's Thunderbolt Ross. And I'm like, you could do the same thing with Justin Hammer. He's like, I can solve Dr. Doom's problems. And then you get Sam Rockwell back in Marvel movies. That's how I'd do it. Team up with Walton Goggins, bad guy of Ant-Man 2. He's done his time.
Walton Goggins was the bad guy in Ant-Man 2?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the Quantumania one?
No, it was
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and Wasp 1.
I don't think I saw that one, I guess.
Yeah, it's Sam Rockwell.
I like Walton Goggins.
I do. He's underused. I'll tell you that for one.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Great.
But we're talking about Walton Goggins in a forgotten Ant-Man movie, which probably means it's time to start wrapping up.
Wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're done with our Thunderbolts long read for now. We're not going to do another long read next time. We're going to wait because our main read is a little bit of a hefty one. We are doing Swamp Thing. We've been reading Swamp Thing by Alan Moore little by little throughout the course of this podcast, and we're going to do his last volume here. It's issues 57 through 64, volume 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think we covered it. You can go back, but I think the first one was probably our first year. Still around September, October, and I think we've probably done it every year since like 2020 or 2021. 2021, I think we've covered it. Like
I want to say 2019, honestly.
Yeah, we definitely did it in our first year of the podcast, though. That was definitely one we hit, and then we may have gone a while, but we're finally finishing it up.
Wow,
sophisticated suspense.
Yeah, so we're not doing a long read because we're expecting these will be some dense issues here, and then we'll figure out what we're doing after that next time for another long read. We got some ideas. Stay tuned, listener. Yeah. All right, Vince, what's going on with you? It's the plugs section.
It's the plug section. Yes.
We always do Chris first. We're gonna do Vince first this time. Vince, what are your plugs?
I've got nothing to plug.
God damn it! I even did you first.
I know you did me first. There's nothing interesting going on. I'm playing Squeakcross, which is a cheese version of Picross. It's got little mice. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Squeakcross, and you make little like shelves and stuff, and then whatever you make in the Picross puzzles, you can then decorate your house with. So that's pretty cool.
Chris, what do you got? Is it better than Squeakcross?
Yes, Your Stupid Minds is we're doing kind of an impromptu series on AI stuff. We did the War of the Worlds 2025 movie with Ice Cube, and then we did Lawnmower Man 2, and then most recently we've covered the 1993 film Arcade, which is, I don't even know how to explain it. Q from Star Trek The Next Generation introduces a test arcade machine that is evil and steals children's souls. I don't know how this is a good business model for anyone. But the girlfriend from Encino Man and the kid from A Christmas Story team up to go inside the game and try to save their friends whose souls have been trapped inside.
Oh, cool. I'm sure it's terrible.
Yep. It's a fun thing to talk about. It's Albert Pune, who is a filmmaker who made a bunch of zero-budget movies. Most famously for our podcast, he did the Captain America 1990 or 1991 movie.
The one with the motorcycle helmet.
Yes, the one where Captain America mostly steals cars. That seems to be his superpower. He steals at least 2 cars. Because he doesn't believe people when they say that he's been frozen in time. Yeah, that movie's not good. But he has some other better movies. This one is not great, partially because the special effects were very bad and were so close to Tron, released over a decade earlier, that Disney threatened to sue them, and so they changed a bunch of them late in the game. So they look even worse than they presumably did before.
Okay, Kia, what do you got to plug?
I'm still playing Silk Song. It's a great game.
Is great as
I
Squeak Cross?
haven't finished it. I haven't played Squeak Cross, so I can still. But I will say with, I think 100% certainty that Silk Song is better than Squeak Cross.
All right. Well, the jury's still out. The internet discourse is 50-50 split between those two.
But
games.
I do love Picross, honestly.
I know.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't finished Silk Song, so maybe there's a Picross minigame in it.
Oh, sweet. That would be dope.
That would be something. If Silk Song had a Picross minigame in the middle.
Oh man, if there was just a Picross game Jupiter just made, Hollow Knight Silk Song Picross, I would be all over that.
I would simultaneously respect it and love it, but also think that it was a terrible decision and that it made the game worse. You know what I mean? I would personally love it, but I think it would be a bad decision for them to do. So, do I have any other plugs? No. That's it. Vince, I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
Chris, I love you.
I'm the version of Chris that doesn't love you. Sorry.
Oh man, he's been duping you the whole time.
Dupe? Has he been a dupe for every episode?
No, just this episode.
Just this episode?
Yeah.
We couldn't get the regular Chris for
the real Chris. The real Chris is playing Metal Gear Solid Delta right now.
Oh. So he's not going to have any memory of this conversation until you reabsorb with him, and then he'll know. And also, that means you don't know what's going on in Metal Gear Solid Delta.
I mean, I've played it before, so I kind of know.
Yeah.
Wait, Chris is playing it twice?
Does his dupe have the memory also? This is confusing. This is how Chris has enough time to do 2 podcasts, whereas we can only do 1.
Does the dupe know it's a remake?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has it been a dupe? When did you split from this dupe? Right before the podcast?
Yeah, right before the podcast.
Okay. So this dupe is mostly caught up to date, just a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
He read the book. He read the book. He's just not podcasting about it.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Listener, I love you, unless it's a dupe of you that's listening to this, in which case, I don't love the dupe of you. I love you. I think that's it. Good night.